Today's episode is going to be unique, man, because the topic is something I personally am chasing. I know you and I have talked about in the past where I believe you're also chasing it as well. But everyone is trying to attain this. Yeah. And that is fulfillment, man. Fulfillment. So, John, when I say fulfillment, what does that mean to you? And are you currently there in your life?
Yeah, so fulfillment, fulfillment now means definitely something different than it did for me. And I probably can speak for you too, because I think you and I are on the same wavelength here. But with fulfillment now, what it means to me is that my meaning and purpose in my life is, yes, for my family and for how I want to grow my family and how I want to, with my wife, because, she has an amazing career too, and how we want to grow our family together. And that's kind of what it did mean. And now it means like, okay, how can I grow my family? Yes, but how can I attain the personal success that I want? Both, with what you and I are doing, personally, and how can I grow that to help others too? And, that's a big part of what you and I talk about on a daily basis, how we can kind of forge this thing forward, but also how it can really affect other people, which is really why we started this podcast, right? You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
that's kind of how I view it. And fulfillment is something different to everybody.
Yeah.
But, or at least it has like that, everyone has their own, meaning of fulfillment maybe behind it, kind of like your own why. Yeah. But that's kind of what it means to me, dude. I mean, am I speaking your language here?
Yeah, but you mentioned too. So what did fulfillment used to be for you? Like
it was.
Sorry.
You're strictly just like taking care of like your family and having a healthy family and maintaining that bond. It was about more like it had more of a family undertone to it.
Okay.
And now I realize that it can be so much more than that. Yeah. And you could have so much more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. So I'm actually going to start with what it used to be for me. I always thought fulfillment was tied with the amount of money you make. Right.
Yeah.
And because everyone thinks, okay, if I make a certain dollar amount, or if I continue to, in my case, climb that corporate ladder and I attain this amount of money, I will seek fulfillment because then I can buy more shit, But the thing is, man, it's not true. It's not fulfilling. What I have found is that when you put others ahead of your needs, it is way more fulfilling. Now, when you can align perhaps your passion. So for you and I, for example, we love fitness, mind, body. We love tying it together. And when you can take your passion and then say, okay, how can I provide this or serve others with this? This is what we're using like the podcast for. This is why we see a greater goal in the future with the Model Mindset Fitness and Coaching, because we want to help people unlock the best version of themselves. And the first critical component of that is concentrating on your health.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it way better than me. So yeah, that's exactly what I mean though. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's the exact same wavelength I'm on with you. And it's hard because I think it will continue to change too. What we find fulfilling will evolve, kind of how it has. We'll understand more. We'll have more challenges. We'll have, more successes, more setbacks, all that stuff. And it'll change our approach to having fulfillment.
Yeah.
But that's the fun of it. Like that. Yeah. That's what's exciting about it. That's what you should be chasing. So I'm really looking forward to kind of understanding that more now that I have a better and broader sense of what fulfillment is. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm looking forward to those challenges and stuff. You know what I mean? And I think we've already experienced some of those. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, a lot of those challenges that we've had so far, and I think one we'll touch on specifically today.
Right.
It was cool because we rebounded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we found a different approach. We found a solution. Yeah. And that gave us a sense of fulfillment. So,
and John, and I'll elaborate on it.
Okay.
And I'll speak for myself. But so what John's talking about is, for those of you that have been listening to our podcast, following us on the Model Mindset IG page and our personal pages, for Thanksgiving, we wanted to give back to a family in need, or a family that was deserving of a Thanksgiving dinner. So we specified a timeline, what the family is going to give, and basically how to enter and how we would select names. And I'll be honest with you, we didn't receive a single entrance. And John, dude, my mom asked me, and my buddy Kyle asked me, like, how many people entered? How did you select the family? And, you know, one of my core values in life is to be truthful and honest.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed, and I told my mom and Kyle that, you know, we had a certain amount of entrance and that we picked a family. And that was not truthful, you know? So Mom, Kyle, I'm sorry, but what we took from that is, and I love the word challenge, because I hate the word failure, because that has such a negative connotation that it almost makes you want to just give up. Yeah. And we didn't give up, man. We said, okay, what resources can we reach out to learn? And so a great resource that we reached out to was Kevin Coughlin, because he has 2 Feet for Good, who gave us some great tips. And then Gabby Schwager, you know, who has Stars Marketing. They gave us some great information that we utilized and we rebounded. So John, tell them about that.
Right. Yeah, man. So like you said, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Okay. I do want to go back to that. I don't want to just brush over it, because it's a real thing. Yeah. And it's a little, you know, hit to your pride.
100%.
You know, it's tough because it was our first thing we wanted to really do.
Yeah.
And it was our first thing that we really wanted to make a really solid impression.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kind of show like what we're about.
Yeah.
And it tanked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, and it was just like even the little things throughout it. Like we're trying to put it on like all like the surrounding towns, like forums and stuff.
Right.
And I was getting messages back from people who run the forum, like, you've exceeded your limit for this week. You can't post anymore. I removed the posts. I'm like, God damn, like really? We're trying to do something good here, you know? Yeah. And it was like battles within the battle. And then, you know, so we were definitely a little beaten down by that, you know? And we're like, you know, between you and I, we're texting each other, and it was just like, man, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are we not getting anybody?
Yeah.
You know? And so that was tough, and it was definitely embarrassing. But you know what? We're here to be truthful and honest about it, and kind of show you that you can rebound.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you said, man. We reached out to people who know what they're doing, who have done it before, which we probably should have done in the first place. But,
looking back on it,
we thought we had a good idea, and we thought it was going to be a home run, so we swung. Right. So, so what we did with this go around with Christmas now. Because you know we're still trying to understand it, and so we're again, all right, we didn't do good on Thanksgiving. Let's try on Christmas. And so what we did was, again, we talked to Kevin, we talked to Gabby, and we actually reached out to another local nonprofit.
And you got to give your sister a shout out, because Jess Price was the one that had a great idea.
That's right, man. And so we reached out to another nonprofit, and we saw that they were in need for some volunteers to get some gifts for some families who were in need. And so I reached out to them, and I just said, hey, you know, how can we help? I kind of introduced who we are and what we do, and we'd love to help. How can we help? And she came back and right away and was just kind of letting us know that, you know, we can help by, you know, pretty much getting gifts for a family.
Right.
And she said it could be a lot, so we'll send you the list. What you can get, let us know, and what you can't, you know, obviously just let us know, and we'll get the rest. We'll divvy it up between who are our remaining volunteers, so to speak. And it was great because it gave us an opportunity to work with Kevin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the three of us kind of tag team this, and we took care of this entire family.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was such a great feeling.
Yeah.
I know, you know, we took our kids out for it, you know what I mean? And try to get some stuff. And that was cool, because I was trying to tell them about it while we were shopping, what we're doing it for.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fulfillment.
Yeah.
You're just storing that in there.
A teachable moment for your kids too, to give back at a young age, because then they grow up with it and they're more willing to give back in school, you know, to their friends. So it's a
Yep.
huge teaching moment, and I appreciate it because you have
Absolutely.
that idea too. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and you don't realize it at the time, right?
Right.
Like you're trying to be a parent then,
Yeah.
but in reality, you realize that you're doing something for yourself too.
Yeah.
You're kind of filling that fulfillment glass up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and we were able to provide something great for a family.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know what? That's okay. So that's how it's done.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We got to reach out. We got to network more. We got to do this and that. But now we know in 4 days when it's Christmas morning, that family's gonna have a great Christmas. And it's not a pat on the back to ourselves. It's showing you what fulfillment is to us now.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking to do.
Yeah.
And that's where we're getting our fulfillment from.
Yeah.
Is we're trying to find ways to make positive, days for people, positive mindsets for people. That's where we're getting our fulfillment from. And you know what? I'm really thankful for Kevin for kind of teaming up with us.
Yeah.
And making this a really great thing because it was really awesome.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and we want to do more. Quite honestly,
yeah, man.
Because we can see the impact that it has on others. And again,
yep,
what you do with your life it's got to be a greater cause than yourself. And the other thing too I want to say is, when I was chasing fulfillment, when I was trying to find my meaning and purpose, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't really know what avenue to take. I was almost like just wishing, I would reach fulfillment.
Yeah.
But you need to take some action, and Ed Milet said something that really resonated with me. And he said that when you look at kids, when you look at, our kids are very young, so we can see this very vividly. But when you look at kids, they use their creativity, they have an amazing imagination, and they dream, man. They fucking dream. And as adults, we lose that. So sometimes when you look back, say maybe 1, 2, 3 years, and nothing has changed, but maybe just the people in it, you need to start using your creativity. Start dreaming. Start imagining what you can become. And I say this because you and I feel very alive. We're using our imagination, our creativity, what we want this to grow into. Not only just a podcast, but we want to grow the Model Mindset, fitness, and coaching into something more, to have a bigger impact on people. And so my recommendation for people is, man, reflect on your dreams. Use your creativity, because it's amazing what you actually can unlock and what you're actually capable of. And I wanted to share that, and don't suppress your uniqueness in life, because everyone is unique. So don't suppress it.
No. You're absolutely right. And before I continue on with that thought, I just do want to say that nonprofit that we worked with was Two Moms on a Mission. I did realize I didn't say that. So
my bad.
Big shout out to them, because what they're doing is incredible. Man, what they provide for these families on Christmas and for the holidays was really, really mind blowing to us. So shout out to them. Those ladies are amazing. And we look forward to working with them in the future.
For sure.
Two Moms on a Mission. But yeah, like you were saying, man, well, that clip with Ed Milet today was sick. Like, I loved it. The second that you sent it to me, I was like, oh man, that's gold.
Yeah.
But what I took from it too, man, is like, and I say this because this was my thought process before, you know what I mean? Like my mindset shifted and changed.
Yeah. Was
the word dreams was really intimidating.
Yeah.
And didn't seem attainable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of it was because that, like, when you become an adult, it's almost like you don't have those dreams anymore.
I agree. It's almost like dreams are meant for younger kids and maybe teenagers, and then you're just not allowed to dream anymore because you're too old.
Right. Yeah, and maybe it's just because when you're younger, you're more naive.
Yeah, could be.
And as you get older, you get a little more hardened to things, or you get more just in a routine as an adult. Or if you have a family, those things could impact it too.
I was just going to say that. I think what happens a lot of times is when we are less likely to take risks, I think it's because we have a house, we have a mortgage,
Yeah.
we have daycare, I have student loans. You
Yeah.
have more responsibility that maybe you are like, I can't do it because
Yeah.
it's just not feasible.
Yeah. And it sounds like, and when you say the word dreams too, I think people, when you say the word dreams, it makes it seem like it's a very big thing.
Yes.
Like it has to be this monumental, huge thing.
Like going to
Dreams are
major leagues or something like that
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Hollywood or whatever, like people, make that correlation with that word dreams with.
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
Yeah.
And that's where my mind was.
Yeah.
And where it is now, and my dreams I have now, and like those things, they're being fed by all this new information I'm taking in now, by all these new conversations I'm having now. That's what's kind of, really pushing that forward and making my mind work in that way again.
Yeah.
Where I have dreams, where I have the ambitions, where I'm looking for fulfillment in my life.
Yeah.
And you have to go to people who know more than you.
Yeah, 100%.
And you have to talk to them and learn from them.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, you have to fail a little bit. And I know you don't like the word failure, but let's face it, what we did on Thanksgiving, it wasn't a success.
Right.
So what, we had to learn from it.
Exactly.
And
you have to learn from it.
And that's the biggest thing. And once you start doing those things and you change your mind about that a little bit and that approach, and you couple that with discovering what your passion is in life, like it takes off.
Yeah.
It really does. Like for me personally, it was like my passion in life has always been fitness, man.
Yeah.
Like it just has been.
Yeah.
Like I love it. There's nothing about it I don't love.
Yeah.
And but I just never made that connection that I could achieve fulfillment with my true passion, because I just looked at it as, like I've said numerous times, just like a hobby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you kind of open my eyes to that a little bit, or a lot of it. And, here we are.
Yeah.
So it's, I think everyone has a passion in their life.
Yeah.
Some may be, have passions of, with fashion or things like that. It doesn't mean you have to go on and be on, these walk, what do they call where the models go out and they go on the runway?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's like you don't have to have it like that, but you could have a grander image than what you're doing with stuff. You know what I mean? So there's always a happy medium.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like a large scale thing.
Yeah. And a good example of this is, take for example, drawing. I don't know about you, but I am not a very good artist, nor can I really draw. But if you take someone that is very gifted when it comes to drawing and painting, imagine if they take that passion and just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to teach people how to draw. And you just say, hey, I'm going to go to the library or contact the library and just say, hey, can I run just a free class? And you just start marketing yourself. And, I don't know about you. I would be interested. I don't know how to draw. But what I would find is that could be time for me. That could be an outlet for me. So anyone that is gifted, and say I'm using, drawing as an example, but like that could become fulfillment. Like it's a passion of yours, and then how you're giving back to others is fulfilling. So, and I wanted to share this story, man. I won't say his name, but I had a really good conversation about maybe a month ago, and with one of my buddies I haven't seen in quite some time. And so we had a really great conversation. He talked about things from his past that I really didn't know. He grew up didn't really have a father in the picture. His mother was an alcoholic, and he's basically he's struggling right now to find meaning and purpose in his life. And so as we were having like lunch and just talking into it, he was like, I really don't know where to go. And so where I'm going with this is, when I was trying to figure out my meaning and purpose, I had to take a step back and like look at my journey in life, right? Not only just your passion, because we've talked about your passion. But I think another helpful way to really look at how you can find meaning and purpose or fulfillment is take a look at your life, take a look at your journey, and see where there's items in there that, are opportunities to help someone. And so with my buddy, when he told me that he didn't have a father figure in there, I asked him, like, have you looked into Big Brothers, Big Sisters? Because in that program, from what I know, they typically they don't have like a father, or sometimes they don't have a mother. And so he realized that not having a father figure in his life was a huge gap. And so I asked him, like, that could be a way for you to give back to someone that doesn't have a father. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a father to them. Just be in their life, give them attention, maybe navigate them a little bit. And I think that is where you could get some fulfillment. And you never know, like with his story, with his mom being an alcoholic and the impact on that having on him, even to this day, you never know who has that same path, and they could be younger. So the impact that you can have on others, whatever. And Tim, when we interviewed Tim Brewer, I mean, he freely talked about his traumatic experience with being molested. And the reason why it was I don't want to say nice, but it was good for Tim to share that part of his life, is because hopefully anyone that has gone through that type of experience can now say, wow, this is how he was able to get through that. Let me apply that to my life, Right. And so I think that if you're looking for meaning and purpose, you don't know where to start, look at your life's journey and see if there's some items in there that perhaps you can maybe start freely expressing to others to where maybe you have an impact on them,
Right. That's incredible advice, because, and you got to think about it in a sense like this. So, it's the holidays, right? So everyone's giving and receiving gifts at this time of year. Okay. I know personally, and I probably can speak for every adult at this point, kids different, but like adults, what I look forward to the most is like seeing, the kid's face when they open presents that we got them, or my wife's face when she sees the present that presents that I got her and stuff like that. So it's the sense of giving that gives you the most fulfillment as an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you get, right? Now add an incredibly personal twist to it. You know what I mean? Add that component to it.
Yeah.
Where like, yes, like giving a present's personal, yes, but like it's coming from your passion and you're pouring that into somebody else.
Yeah.
You're giving something to somebody else that you're incredibly passionate about. That increases that feeling like 10, like by 20, 30, 40. I mean, like it makes it that much more special. And that's what we're trying to talk about.
Right.
That's the feeling that we're trying to kind of get across.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it takes time to figure out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we said, you have to find what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And everyone's passionate about something.
Yeah.
There's no way you're not passionate about something.
And the thing too,
you know what I mean? It's something for you.
Yeah. And the thing too is it can always evolve. I mean, I remember when I became a certified personal trainer in 2018, I was a certified personal trainer at the YMCA in Granby. And I was training a swim team, a Live Strong program, which was actually people that were either battling cancer or had just gone through cancer. So that was actually super rewarding. Yeah. But then, of course, personal trainings, individuals. And so I had this vision in my mind that it would be incredibly fulfilling because I was following something that I was passionate about. But come to find out, it wasn't as fulfilling, because if I could just be very open and honest with people, I was leaving my full-time job, around 4:30 in Hartford, racing to Granby, which is about a 25-minute drive. And for an hour of personal training, I was making about $20. And then on Sundays, I would have to come in at 6 a.m. and clean the equipment and wash towels, clean towels. And that to me, and then it was taking away time from my wife. And so it's like, that's not fulfilling, But when it's our place, when it's our mission, I will be on my hands and fucking knees cleaning that toilet. Damn
Absolutely.
Well. But it's going to be because it's our vision, our mission, and we know we're impacting lives,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what I mean by that is it can always evolve. Like I had to take a step back from that. I always continued to tweak and kind of continue my craft of personal training to evolve it. But now is where it's almost like becoming more defined. And it took 4 years. And
Yep.
it's, I'm thankful for you, to be quite honest with you, John, because it's almost like you hold me accountable. And I think we hold each other accountable, but we also complement each other very well. And we drive each other's vision, creativity, and dreams. And the future is bright for us. And it's partly because we see how we can impact others,
Right. And that's well said, because it's not, but this isn't some like philanthropist shit where we're trying to make it seem like we're like these, holier than thou people giving everything. And, like, that's not what this is. Philanthropy and fulfillment are very different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like they do share some of the same characteristics, you know what I mean? And some maybe core values, so that, you can take those things from one another. But man, I absolutely agree with you. Like it's just all about finding that forward progress, within yourself, but you're pushing it to others.
Yeah.
Like it's everything has to move forward together.
Yeah.
And, once you find that position where you're able to be passionate about something, just find that next opportunity and how can I give back? You know what I mean? Are you good? So you know what I mean? It's like, how can I give back with it now? Because that's really where the fulfillment comes in.
Yeah.
You can be proud of yourself, and you can be so happy that, like, when the time comes when I pass my certification, and test, of course I'm going to be proud of myself and feel very fulfilled. But it's more so because, man, we can get fucking rolling now, and we can start investing in people now.
Yeah.
Like that's where the excitement is. I don't give a shit if I get 100 on it, whatever it is. Like, man, just get me to the point where I can start working on, myself and working with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking forward to the most. That's where the fulfillment lies.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to keep chasing that now.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you could now like break it down now into like basics, like, okay, do this, do that, do that.
Yeah.
Like, how would you explain it for, if we had to give steps on achieving fulfillment?
Yeah. So my recommendations would be take a look at your passion and then see how you can give back to others, how you can be of service to others, It could be something even like with coaching, or if you play a sport, baseball, can you start coaching, the youth?
Right. Exactly. Right.
And then the other thing, like I touched on previously, is look at your life's journey and to see if there's any opportunities to help people. Because again, like I said, everyone is unique. Okay. So don't suppress your uniqueness in your life. Okay.
Right.
I guarantee you there's opportunities in your life to share, and that is a way, again, to give back and to become fulfilled. And like you said before, man, we're still not there yet. We're still chasing that, but we see it, which is exciting.
Man, it's right there. It's right there. I think the last thing that we want to touch on real quick with everybody is, this past week, okay, because we did get some fulfillment this past week. And I, we put a quick little thing out this week about it, but I didn't want to speak for you, BG. I made my little selfie video in the car, but I didn't want to speak for you at that point. Thank you guys for the response this past week with our interview with Josh. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. And, we're really happy that you guys enjoyed it. We're still learning on a lot of these things.
Yeah.
But it was certainly a sense of fulfillment with us, with that, because maybe, we helped Josh get over a little bit of fear with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't want to sit down and do that a lot of times.
It was uncomfortable.
And, thank you,
That's facing your fear.
Thank you, Gabby.
That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabby, for pushing him a little bit too, and be like, no, you got to do it. You said you do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it, and, that was special to us and for many reasons.
Right.
And it just was the icing on the cake for the response we got and the feedback we got. So thank you guys very much for that. That was awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man. I echo all those same sentiments.
Awesome. Well, guys, happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas.
Festivus.
We'll catch you guys next week. Festivus, all that good shit, man. we'll catch you guys next week. We have a really cool episode lined up for you guys next week as well. So stay tuned for that. And happy holidays to everybody. Hope it's safe.